Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Please be advised.
Spoiler alert episode. Spoiler.
Please be advised. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wonder Woman spoiler up number 55.
And thanks to you, Patreon subscribers,
You
for
guys,
making this happen.
Oh my God, you guys got us over the $1,000 level. We're doing 2 of these a month now. This one is being recorded in the garage because ATC was already booked, so there's no video on this to go up on Patreon or on the YouTube channel. But sorry, Kimberly, they were booked. Don't take it personally. So we're back in the garage. The air conditioning's turned off. It's going to get hot.
So we'll barrel through this before it gets too warm.
But we want to bring back to the show. She hasn't been on in a couple years. She was one of the producers on Earbuds, our longtime friend, runs the Hollywood Shorts, and a million other things. Miss Kimberley Browning.
Hello, everybody.
If you work in independent
Hi.
film in LA, you've met Kimberley Browning.
That's a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not sure.
Who literally came from a panel or something that you were...
I did. I was speaking at the Dances with Films panel. It was a panel of alumni filmmakers.
Oh, wow.
Life after Dances with Films, which basically turned into code for a distribution panel, basically.
Nice.
Yeah. Kind of disintegrated quickly into. So what happened? Did you make any money off your movie? How do I know if a distributor is legitimate?
God.
Stuff that we ask each other every Tuesday. Yeah.
No one. Yeah, exactly. The answers
The
are.
conversation we just had before I hit
I was
record.
like, were
Yeah,
we just talking about this? Like I said.
And the answer is you never know any of those answers.
Ever. Quarterlies, they could come. Maybe not. Who knows?
What else have you been doing?
Gosh, I am just coming back to my senses from my first year programming the Tribeca Film Festival.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
shit, what was that like?
Yeah, it's a nice promotion. I've been a screener for them. And last year was offered a full position as a programmer there. And it was pretty badass.
That's
lots of stuff.
Lots of really cool stuff.
Lots
Decent
of
money,
really cool
decent,
stuff.
like...
It's a great association. You work your ass off, and it's a big ass fest. You know what I mean? It's like one of those fests where there's
How many...
food.
Oh, God.
There's like 4 theaters. Volunteer shirts all match. I mean, it's a very well funded. It's
That is mean so... That's a
so
big
much,
fucking deal.
right? Yeah.
It's good in Napa Valley. Is the food as good as Napa Valley?
Napa's got good food. New Orleans Film Festival gives it a run for its money. Napa food is dope. But yeah, Tribeca, Chelsea. I mean, please. So it was just, it's a different level. It's a different type of tone than LA Film Festival when I was programming there. So it was a really great mental adjustment. It's just a different tone, different fest, different caliber altogether.
Oh, very
How many
cool.
movies are you programming?
Okay, so everybody put on their big boy pants here. So the shorts this year got almost 4,400 short submissions.
Oh my God.
We took 57 short films.
Wow.
There were about 2,300 feature submissions, I think. And we had 98, 99 features. So it's a brutal, brutal, brutal world out there, my friends. Man. It's tough. It's tough. So getting that festival rejection letter is not a testament or a statement about the quality. No. I mean, yeah, your film might suck. It might be why we didn't program it. But not necessarily.
It just wasn't room.
It just literally if a programmer is emailing you and saying, listen, I watched your film. We loved it. We just didn't have a place for it. I'm telling you, there are films that we saw that will be on Oscar shortlist or that are going to go on and win big, big fests. We literally just didn't have room for.
Right.
It's just the nature. There's so much inventory now.
Yeah.
Digital has made it very easy for us all to make whatever we want, whenever we want.
Right.
And so but festivals we're not doubling our Not every festival Seattle. We're not doing month-long festivals.
Right.
We didn't change our days. We're still doing 4 days or 7 days.
Yeah, you didn't go from 100 slots to 300 or
Nope.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Not yet.
not yet. There's just twice as many festivals now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's the other side of the coin. Yeah. So it's been great. And I'm kind of getting back in the groove of Hollywood Shorts. And we'll be starting our 20th year this fall.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
I know.
20
What year
years.
was your first short film, Chris Mancini?
Oh, gosh.
Did we play Hit Clown first?
94? Skins.
We played Skins first, which was my first year with 98.
So it was probably, yeah.
And then I
probably.
went back and grabbed Hit Clown.
It was the same year as
and then we made
Lucas
something.
in Love.
That would, yeah. Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
I have stretch marks older than some of these. I swear to God. Are you kidding me? We've been doing this a long time.
That's where I met
guys.
Joseph Levy.
It's where you met Levy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hollywood Shorts.
So, yeah. So, Dances with Films, this is their 20th year.
Wow.
We all started at the same time.
That's amazing.
My goodness.
Crazy.
So,
I've
right.
known Mancini a long, long time.
yeah, it's been a long time. So, let's talk about it. Let's
Okay.
talk about Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
We have
Are
to talk about
allowed
Wonder
to
Woman.
sing the song?
Well, okay.
We get to hum. We need clearance. I've done research for 2 days.
Well, let me say this now to anybody tuning in for the first time. This is a spoiler app, which means we are going to only talk about the Wonder Woman movie that just came out with Gal Gadot, and we're going to give up endings, key plot points. So if you have not seen
Right.
this movie, hit the pause button, get the fuck over to a theater, and then come
See it?
back and
Come
join
back.
us. All right. So Chris and I have already talked about it a little bit on the regular episodes, episode 373 with Laura Swisher. We both liked it. What did you think of this
I
movie?
love it.
Yeah.
Loved it. There are elements of it I could tweak about just from a filmmaking standpoint.
Sure.
Sure.
But as a chick that was, raised in the 70s and 80s, who grew up in D.C. where Linda Carter would be at different things and in the society pages, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, bring your kids, bring your nieces, bring your friends. It's
And it's doing really well, too.
content-wise, story-wise, the overall, what you're signing up for. I signed up, went on the journey, and had a good time.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like we didn't talk about this. Is good you brought up the Linda Carter TV show because I loved that show.
I remember watching that as a kid.
I
Loved
loved
it.
I
Remember the spin?
This is the best.
the spin, the crazy plane, the
I miss the plane.
you know what I mean.
We're gonna get into that, right?
The truth rope. I mean,
Yeah.
Linda Carter. I was a kid who just loved seeing, and we talked about this in the regular episode. So growing up, and it was easy to find heroes that looked like me or just
Right.
were men, just
Right.
male heroes, just even in sports. I grew up, I loved Muhammad Ali. I loved, anyone that was a badass that was like fighting for justice. I watched Policewoman as a kid because I loved cop shows.
Right.
And I was like, bring it. I'm down. So
Yeah.
when Wonder Woman TV show came out, I was like, awesome. Another superhero fighting bad people.
Yeah.
So, but what is so cool about this is, like you say, young girls were like, oh my God, this is awesome. And I think that the real testament that I got was, Chris, you talking about your daughter
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is cool. It wasn't such a big deal for her, that's actually great.
That's
Yeah.
the progress, right?
That's the
Right.
progress.
That's the dopeness of it.
Our age
Yeah.
group is like, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
She's
never thought.
She's been growing up with Good Luck Charlie and
Sure.
these Disney shows that all shake it up that
Impossible and-
have female leads. So to her, it's not as shocking that a woman would be star in a feature film as a superhero. So, but like Graham and I both said, we really love this film. It was really great. The tone was great. It was funny. It was light, like we said.
Funny.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, Marvel, but
Yeah.
funny,
Right.
right? Yeah, I was surprised.
It had the right
that-
tone. It was, you could tell it was lightened up, and it wasn't like a forced lightened up like Suicide Squad, where they
Right.
went back and
Tried to make it
tried to make
palatable.
it. Yeah. Let's just add some jokes in
Not
this
the
really
Dark
dark
Knight journey it is.
Yeah, movie. And I'm like, oh well, now it's just worse. So well done. So
But I thought the visualization maintained. It tried to be cartoony in a way.
it was definitely superhero
in the
serially,
way yes,
Yeah.
in the way that they chose to execute the effects.
like those
it
feel
wasn't
of like
super techy. It was
right.
it was cartoony.
Indiana
and I loved
Indiana
that.
Jonesy. It really felt like those kind of
Completely.
like serial
Yeah.
throwbacks.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But this is the thing that like to give Zack Snyder credit for, he created these type of that type of slow-mo framing from the 300 that has been used, that was used in this, and it was used in this correctly.
Exactly.
Because like the opening fight scene on the beach.
Yeah, it was like the fourth.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was great.
So
Straight out of the gate, man.
I mean, like, boom, when she
Fourth frame.
jumps up
Yeah.
on the shield, and they go jump. She jumps
Yeah.
up on the shield. It has 3 arrows, and is like,
Wasn't that the most badass? Like,
I
Yeah.
was like,
I wanted it slow. You wanted
Right,
slow
yeah, you
that
wanted-
shit
Yeah.
down.
Yes.
See, for me, The Matrix was my first
Right.
kind of moment, that elevator scene
Right.
of just stop and drop and kick your ass.
Right.
And so coming out of the gate, just ramping up. I think it was like the 4th or 5th shot of the film was
Well,
this great big old. This is the film we're giving you,
No.
and it's going to be full of these.
the
vivid
opening
moments.
shot is badass women training to fight.
Right.
Wasn't it great?
For a war that they know is coming.
They know is coming.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
was just like, and the casting.
Beautiful.
Like, I'd love to know specifically, like, how many of them have Olympic medals?
Yeah.
Like, who they like, I was
There were
like,
some recognizable faces in there.
Ooh.
My
Like-
favorite thing is I was watching House of Cards until the crack acid dawn today. So it was extremely mental to like watch a House of Cards episode this morning at 7 o'clock and then go into, the theater straight after.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and there's Robin again.
Yeah.
Because the last episode of House of Cards.
Robin Wright, not
is-
Penn.
No, Robin. Yeah, right. Okay. So the last shot of House of Cards was literally her breaking frame, right?
Right.
Spoilers alert. Sorry. So, so literally the next shot of the next thing I watched was Robin.
Right.
It was like,
And
whoa!
one of the things-
again, being a badass.
badass.
Yeah. And one of the things I wanted to mention, I didn't want to mention this on the regular episode, is that, it messed with the mythology a little bit. You have the Greek gods, but in the stories,
In
in
the
the comic books,
original
origin
origin
stories, the gods are all still alive, and Wonder Woman's father is actually Hades.
Right.
And so they have a Wonder Woman with the Queen.
How
and
did you feel
Hades.
about that?
So that was what was interesting. It was like, you know what? This is okay because they may have changed the origin and changed that part of the story, but they didn't change the DNA of the character. That's what they
Right.
haven't been able to get right until now. The character remained the same, so you can change,
Yeah.
certain of parts of those details.
Still a halfsies.
She's still a half, she's still half immortal. She's still new and, going into this new world, fish out of water type
They have
thing.
to hide her reality from her
Yes.
a little bit. Like, they
Yes.
don't
Right.
tell her. Her mom's afraid to tell her.
For her own protection. That
her-
all
Right.
was part
Yeah.
of the origin story.
So the other thing too, that Chris, you bring up a great point, which is, I agree. Like, I don't have a problem if they make some changes, provided they're sticking to the core of who the characters are,
Right.
and they're using, like, Christopher Nolan used all of the source material
That's
from
right.
Batman.
That's right.
He
Yes.
broke a couple of things, but it wasn't like egregious.
Right.
It wasn't like
He didn't change Batman's DNA. Batman wasn't a killer.
right. Or he
Yeah.
uses a gun,
Or,
or
or
brings,
Alfred wasn't just a mechanic.
yeah,
Right.
or
Yeah.
brings Vicky Vale on the Batcave.
yeah.
So no crimes like that were committed.
Yes.
it was
exactly.
like
Conscientiously.
yeah,
Right.
it was like it was awesome,
And Wonder Woman now can fly. So, but they didn't actually show that here in the film, which
in
was
the
interesting.
comics she can fly.
Yeah, but originally
Well,
she
here
was in
she
the
kinda-
she was in the jet, and then
Okay,
she could
I
fly.
have to say I missed the plane every time.
Yeah,
I get to
the invisible
plane,
jet.
I'm hoping it's a sequel issue. I did miss the plane.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked how they showed.
But then the retconning is like, no, she can fly like Superman.
Right.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah,
that she
but
does
she's
the-
learning.
She's learning, so
Right.
she has. That was the cool thing too.
I loved that.
It was great origin story. So they took these things that are very standard parts of a superhero movie, but good.
Yeah.
They did it the right way.
Right.
They didn't just like, well, we have to have one of these scenes. It's like, no, we need an origin story. I need to see her try to figure out her new powers. I've seen that done a million times, but again, it was done interesting. It was done true to her
Right.
character and where she grew up. She's defying her mom, and she's trying to jump up to get that sword. So I'm gonna I'm gonna just try that. Just showing her who she is. I was born a badass. I've been trained to be one, and I have superpowers. But I was born with something in me that says, you know what? I think I can jump over that ravine to get to that goddamn castle.
Yeah.
Like, that's who I am.
Yeah.
and they also didn't waste a lot of time. We see her as a young girl. We see her as 8. We see her at like 14.
The age trip pretty quick.
We see her play with accents each segment.
that was the nitpick thing. The
Yeah,
accents.
we'll get there. I'm like, okay, you're a good actor. Got it.
Yeah.
I think yesterday I was speaking with a filmmaker who was kind of discovering how much motivation or a reason does somebody have to do something that will put them in conflict with their family or put their kids at risk. Don't you have to show a reason, like they need money or they're desperate for them? And when you have a spiritual calling. And this really tapped into what we were talking about yesterday, because the girl just knew somehow, even before she had vocabulary, there's a magnetic force field that's cool and that's what I want to do. And so I thought they were really exquisite about establishing from Jet. She was like that.
Right.
She keyed on it. She focused on it. She was willing to break the rules for it to be who she is. And I think it really reinforces conversation we're having about if you have a character that really is well designed and the audience buying in to this is their calling. This is what they were born to do, and they're just figuring that out. The audience is going to go, and you don't need all these manufactured plot points
Thank you.
to sell it. Like,
Right.
I'm a priest. I believe that God made a calling. That should be good enough if your actor knows what they're doing.
Especially like,
So let's talk about the casting in this movie.
Yeah, the casting, I loved it. As I've said before, I
loved 90% of it.
I was skeptical of Gal Gadot for sure. I thought, the way Wonder Woman has been drawn, she needs to be bigger. Like, it was like when they cast Michael Keaton.
She's to be
as
an
Batman.
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
I was like, Gal Gadot is thin. Like, she's a
tiny little girl.
Tiny little girl. I'm like, I need Lucy Lawless. I
Right.
need, like, boom.
Right.
So I was not convinced of this at all. And I'm like, okay, I've seen Gal Gadot, and a fan wrote she was in the Israeli army. I was
And
like,
she's a
okay.
good size against Chris Pine. Really.
Right,
He
Chris
plays a
Pine.
great girlfriend.
She's got to be 6 feet or
Yeah,
6'1".
yeah.
She's got-
Is he even eligible to be in this film?
Yeah.
Can I ask that question?
I could do this.
Isn't there a quota on the Chris Pine hero thing? There's other actors in Hollywood, people.
Yeah.
I know.
Love you, Chris.
Yeah, he did
Love
a great
you.
job.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
But going back to the casting thing and what you said, so the mom was cast correctly. Robin Wright's character and all the stuff. Everybody, like, Robin Wright defies her queen, but it wasn't her sister. It wasn't like it. Her motivation was justified. She was like, "Look, I'm not defying you out of disrespect, but your girl. I get it. You're a mom and you're the queen, and I'm a subordinate. But come on,
And they keep
She's
hinting.
your daughter.
Yeah.
That'd be like Jesus, not kind of doing the whole cross thing.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, hello.
And they all-
cut her loose.
You made her this way.
And they keep hinting it's like, all right, well, she has some origin that we haven't revealed yet,
Yeah.
and that Ares is going to play a part somewhere. Ares is coming. They keep
Yes.
mentioning him. He's the only god, in this mythology that survived, and he's the cause of all the wars. So it was interesting to see, like, as the war progressed, like, she's convinced, like, well, if I kill Ares, all the war will stop. And
The
then,
naiveness that
which was, I thought, those were some great moments, and also
Great commentary about humans.
yes, yeah, and
Right.
and when Ares finally shows up, it's like, well, no, they're kind of doing it on their own. I'm helping a little bit, but this is kind of their thing.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing that irritated me is when Ares finally shows up. Okay, British actor in disguise. I get it. He's Ares. Shapeshift form. It's fine. Okay.
But
Well,
he,
now
like,
when he
yeah.
becomes Ares, like, okay, well, now what's he going to look like? Oh, he's still going to look like a teacher from Hogwarts. So no, I want to see a god of war. I want to
Right?
see even if it was just from Hercules, the
so
legendary
good.
journey. That guy looked like Ares.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't mind him being British. He looked like a transformer to me.
Yeah.
Oh, at the end.
At the
Let's talk
end?
about the end. All right,
Yeah.
the
Okay,
final, the big fight.
Yeah. The last 20 minutes, I didn't.
You tuned out a little, or
Yes, I completely zoned out.
Because we barreled towards
I
a big
did not
CG sequence
care.
that we didn't need.
At all. And it took me out of it. I didn't need it. I loved having all that origin story, but it put us into a 2.5-hour movie.
Right.
And so by the time
You don't have to spend all the extra effects at the end. You don't
I
have
didn't
to.
need that last bit, I didn't care. it was hard to stay rooting for her through that.
Well, because most of it was actually, in a weird way, grounded. A lot of the film was. It was grounded in the reality of the horrors of war.
Yes.
And even though, and this basically an ingenue coming in
Yeah.
to try to help, even though she's
Sure.
a hero. But then you get into all the CG and the gods and the big
It was
fights
almost
at
like
the
they
end.
tacked on this bit about, okay, here's the part for the boys.
Right.
In some weird way, like there's some studio marketing exec that,
Right.
you know what I mean?
We need a big blow up thing at the end for the boys. or
And
something.
it was because it was so disconnected from the beauty of the narrative
Because what if
that had existed, and for her to be on such a learning curve about the world and her existence, and then all of a sudden it's beast to beast,
and you know what
and
made me
she's gonna hold like this. I mean, it's like Doctor Who fighting some
A
alien
Dalek.
being that just no. Dalek's been around for a long time,
Right.
They have figured some shit out, but it's like some new orb and fighting
Right.
Doctor Who. It felt
Right.
like okay, all of a sudden.
You know what I found would have been interesting is that this was going on in my head. I'm like, and I knew they weren't going to do it in the film. Is like, what if the commentary was Ares was never there at all? Like this was the whole thing was no, this is war. This is what mankind does.
Right.
I know you're looking for Ares, but he's not here.
But it was there up into that very bit that was kind of her learning curve. That was her
Right.
big kind of emotional turn. And then it's all of a sudden, oh, I am, Father Time, whatever the hell he said, whatever
Yes.
that line was, was just like, what?
That is a great point because the learning about and the commentary about the human race and how we're in constant state of war would have been a little more. And even, all right, when they bring Ares in, sure, he was making those remarks of, I don't have to do anything, I just hand them a weapon and they'll kill each other with it.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting, but I agree it would have been probably better if she would have realized, well, how do these wars end? Like, when is this? Because they picked World War One,
Right.
Which I thought was interesting.
the war
Great
to end
War.
all wars.
wars. Yeah.
And
I thought
Then
that
it
was
wasn't named
fascinating.
World War One.
no,
That's not what they called it.
No.
I thought it ended up diffusing this kind of pure Disney-esque heroic turn at the end, right? When they have that flashback moment where they're both fighting to be the hero that's going to take out the plane, and she realizes that love is the greatest power of all. And so there's these great kind of soundbite moments, which are super cheese, and that's what I'm signing up for. But by the time we get to her having that flashback and the reveal that he has sacrificed himself and she now realizes what the human love is, like all her girly bits are like, oh, you know what I mean?
It was a little
I
weird.
think I was exhausted.
It was a
by
little
the time
weird
we got to
mechanism,
that.
like because
It was
she
so
couldn't
bizarre.
because she couldn't hear, and then all of a sudden, wait, if your hearing returned, how could you remember something that you didn't hear?
Yes,
That was a little
correct. And then it was just to set up this great shot with Chris in the plane with all the warheads, right?
Right.
And him having his hero moment. But by the time I just felt like if the War of the Worlds, this H.G. Wellian Transformer party had been just a tiny bit shorter,
Right.
I could have stayed. If they're going to build
Stayed
it, it's
grounded
annoying.
a little bit.
Yeah, because I didn't need the love story to begin with. I'm glad she got her first kiss, but oh my God, I mean, did I really need that? No.
Yes, we needed that.
I know we had to have it. I'm just saying, me personally could have gone on her hero's journey.
Right.
If you're gonna have that in there, that arc in there, I wanted to just let that complete, and I felt like that kind of War of the Worlds and her versus, like she was gonna really end all war. Whatever that was,
Right.
it just got in the way for me. I just wanted all to kind of. That could be that I've just watched a lot of films lately, and I'm kind of like I got
Lately?
stuff to do.
Yeah.
You mean the last 25 years?
That's my life. And maybe it's just like, let's go. We know where we're going. I'm having a good
Yep.
time. But I also am like, if I brought my 12-year-old nieces or nephews to this, they're not going to sit through that, and like, it's a lot. It's a lot of movie. It was a lot of movie.
It was a lot of movie, but it did move, which was good for sure. And it was it had a great tone all the way through. We were saying that it was good, and we were also saying it's like I had my kids wait. I'm like, I know there's going to be a teaser at the end,
Yes.
and there
That
was
bummed me
nothing at the
out.
end.
I
there
stayed
was
to
nothing.
the very end.
To the very end
No
credit.
Yeah,
tease.
nothing.
Especially because Guardians of the Galaxy
Has
I-
six.
Had like
There's
5 or
or
6 of them. Yeah.
It was like a whole short film program.
Yeah,
Right.
It was like I could just take these out
Yeah.
and pop those up, and there's an hour of entertainment.
Right.
Those were great. How could there not be?
And there always was on the DC ones too. This was like the first one that didn't have anything.
Yeah, they all did,
Well,
huh?
let's go into some of the other characters that we didn't talk
Yes.
about them in the regular episode. So like
Dr. Poison. Let's talk about Dr. Poison.
Dr. Poison.
Was she really necessary for this film? Now, you didn't really get a lot of backstory on her. You didn't really get like a lot. Like she just kind of showed up as like the extra villain that was making poison, and occasionally a pick me up for the
Yes.
other bad guy. So
Yeah.
I feel like too when you have the what was it what was his name, the bad general, whatever his name was. You had Dr. Poison, then you have Ares. Basically, you have 3 villains that
Right.
are all kind of competing for screen time, even though one isn't revealed until later.
Hey, I
Ludendorff.
was just digging that like Angelica's brother was looking pretty hot in that uniform. Do you know what I mean?
Which one was that?
Danny Houston played Ludendorff. That's John Huston's son. It's Angelica's brother.
Oh, really?
And
Oh,
he's
I
like,
didn't know that.
you know, of legend himself. So for him to be in this, and he's kind of filled out in his, you know, he's aging well. And I was like, oh, that's kind of badass. Like,
It's an interesting piece of trivia that both the actual Ludendorff and Hindenburg, they both survived World War One. Those actual generals
in real
did.
life.
Oh, really?
They died
Wow.
in 34 and 37.
That's really interesting.
What about Dr.
Were they
Poison?
sadistic?
Did she?
Now, okay. Dr. Poison for me, I thought was underutilized.
Right. I
I
agree.
anticipated. I thought she was too pretty,
Yeah.
but not in a sexual way. Just when you have somebody that's mangled, she seemed too dour.
And especially
for
you would
such
think
a powerful, bitter, angry character.
if you're wearing that on your face, it's going to be horrific
It needs
underneath.
to be
and then when
jacked.
it's gone, it was like, oh, well, it's not that
It wasn't
bad.
that bad.
Yeah.
And
it was
so-
Hollywood. It was Hollywood ugly.
Yeah, I thought there would be a more distinctive portrayal, and I thought she was going to grow into this great nemesis, which I kind of
Which never happened.
never manifested. But they ended up having to have their confrontation at the end.
Right. And it was
But
it,
then
it
she
just
ended
felt
up
short.
having to have compassion for her
And then
she
fight
was
the
just a tool.
Transformer.
And then it just really was about, but they couldn't have done both. I get it. They couldn't have had both altercations, and they chose
Right.
the one.
I mean, really, she had to have a confrontation with 3 of the characters.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was disappointed in that part, but I loved how her innocence of why should I sit down, or just being a woman in this world.
Oh yeah, that
It's so important to me.
Right.
That a lot of these women characters are like, what do you mean I need to sit down and be quiet? Like
Yes.
that they're just uncognizant of that, which is kind of like, hopefully our kids are all like
Well,
that
well,
in the
there's-
next world. You know what I mean?
well, there's such great sentiments in there when she's like, there's the English Parliament. No women are allowed.
Yeah,
There's
why,
a
why
woman
is there
in here.
a woman in here?
Why is there a woman here?
Harumph, harumph, harumph.
Yeah. And then when she,
Yeah.
And I love that they made it British, too.
Yeah.
Very British.
Yeah.
well, the other scene that was so powerful was she's talking to they're like, fine, we'll listen to her. You know, they had to, the generals. And she's like, she's a warrior. And she goes, you're a general and you don't go
Yeah.
into battle?
Yeah,
With
that
your
shame,
troops?
her
Yeah.
little shame
Yeah.
speech
Yeah.
was fantastic.
And it was such a great commentary and like, oh, a bunch of
so political.
a bunch of the powerful people sit in offices while your sons and daughters go die.
That's where I thought her
good thing that's not
performance
happening
was
now. Everything's good.
fantastic.
What's that?
I think
Patton
that's
went
where
into battle.
He did indeed.
Patton.
I really felt that's where she excelled as an actor for me that I wasn't expecting. I knew that she could do the physical part of this
Right.
role, but I thought she had some really good, meaty stuff because a lot of those kind of moments would have come off so clangy
Yeah.
and she just, those great kind of gender specific, even the humorous ones, those
Right.
jokes wouldn't have worked unless she really had brought some craft to it.
And you needed a female director. I really feel like Patty Jenkins
do?
did a fantastic job.
She did great.
Yeah.
But I don't think she did great because she's a woman. I think she
So-
did great because she's a badass director.
Well, I think it was a mixture of both.
Okay.
I think because she had the perspective of
Sure.
being a woman,
Definitely
helped. But
In a boys'
but
club.
in a boys' club, but she
Hey,
had
you
to
don't
have.
have to have that.
But she had to have a solid. She had to be a solid director to begin with.
Yeah. And so for me, my favorite retribution is the word I'd like to use of being on set, which will remain nameless, with a friend of ours who shall remain nameless, and somebody on set. I got literally in an argument on set and lost my mind and forgot like where I was and that I was there working because this particular actor was like, a woman can't direct a superhero movie. It's never happened before.
Oh my god!
And
well, I mean, he might have been talking about Punisher Warzone.
hey, Lexi's a good girl. I love Lexi. I love you. And so Steve Gaynor, I love you too. It's a beautiful film. Looked beautiful when you shot. So I just was so, when the comment was made, I literally forgot who I was, where I was.
You lost it.
Because I couldn't believe somebody was humanly saying, I mean, it's like if I had been in Bill Maher's show on Friday and he had said something like that to me, I would have been like,
Right.
a whole of like, I'm sorry, what? Like, and I literally just like went in verbally on this guy. Like, are you just out of your? I'm sorry. We have to have a chat, and then quickly kind of try to had to apologize to the director, and because it became a thing, and it was uncomfortable for the rest of the day. And so I'm literally
Normally, aren't you the peacemaker? Aren't you?
I know.
And you're the,
I know.
And you caused the drama.
But when someone says something that dumb,
It was so outrageous and outrageous, and I thought he was taking the piss. Like,
Right.
oh, surely he's just teasing me because I'm the only girl on set right now.
Right.
And I looked, and he was deadly serious
Oh,
about
wow.
this belief system about women in directing and all this stuff. And I was just like,
it's so incorrect because it's
it's
like,
like pterodactyl. Like,
well, the thing that you've had to hear that Patty Jenkins, like, I love Monster, and we were talking about the regular episode.
She directed a lot of TV after
She
that.
directed a lot of TV
Yeah.
too, but like solid scripted episodic TV.
right, she wasn't doing cheesy stuff.
Right. And that's the thing that we've talked about so much. When a good director who is a good storyteller can cast and direct actors, when they're given a $150 million budget, they can do a solid. Like, I think there's a
Right.
misconception like, oh, only a certain type of director can handle the giant budget. Now, I don't deny that there's a whole nother minefield to navigate when you've got those kind of prices.
Sure.
But to make
And there's
this-
a lot that can't too.
right.
And there's a lot of people who have that money. And I just still don't know where the money goes.
Michael Bay.
Yes.
Get out of my head, Graham.
No, but there's people like that. Michael Bay cannot direct a movie to say he can't cast. He doesn't know how to tell a story, but he knows how to do big budget special effects,
Yeah.
and they turn a profit, so they'll let
So
him
they keep making it.
He's a visual effects supervisor.
That's what
He's
he
a
is.
dentist
Right.
doing brain surgery.
Yes.
Ha! Ha!
It's really, you're really good at this one
So
thing.
glad I'm
but
not alone.
but Patty Jenkins, I'm glad. I agree you need a good director that knows how to tell story, but I think that it was important to have a woman direct it,
Yeah.
so that we can get away from this. Oh, women can't direct.
That's
Name
right.
one superhero movie that a
That's
woman
right.
did that was great. Well, she's never been given the fucking opportunity
That's right.
to.
because Joss Whedon was attached to
Fire was
Wonder
supposed
Woman.
to do it, and he fell out.
So, yeah.
Like, they weren't intending on this being a female
No.
led picture. Obviously, as somebody, for those of you who don't know, I am also of color.
What?
And
What?
so,
Why you gotta spoil? We gotta
I
drop that on
know.
us.
So, yeah, I know. And so, again, there's been so many decades where we've heard, as people of color, we can't direct it because black people don't come see movies, or we don't know how to direct, or whatever the mishigosh is. The more that we have soul foods, and year after year after year, we now are really building on a good litany of films that have made a bunch of money, to the point where a Moonlight could win an Oscar at $1 million, and Selma's making a bunch of money, and
She's doing a Wrinkle in Time.
she's going to do Wrinkle in Time, which is just so perfect in this legacy. And then even having Get Out do the kind of
Oh, yeah.
numbers that it's
Right.
doing helps every time I have to go into these meetings. Oh, well, films with black directors don't make money. This conversation, there's tons of women directors, but now hopefully we can stop having to hear this archaic conversation.
Right.
like
you can't say someone isn't good at something when you've never given them the opportunity to do it.
But there are women directing stuff. So to act like the evidence isn't
I
there
know,
is where I'm kind of
I read a great article about it too, saying that things will reach parity when a woman can direct a really shitty movie and then get to direct another one.
And get to direct another picture.
Yes.
Right.
Because that's when we know nobody gives a crap.
Right.
That it's just work. Work is work is work. And what societally is happening, because it's not just male producers who are giving us 7% of all of the films released this year. A lot of those hiring decisions were made by women.
Yeah.
As well. Those are women power brokers and women decision makers and women greenlighters. So what is it societally that says of the 212 movies coming out in 2017, 12 of them are going to be directed by a woman of a studio picture? I'm sick of the conversation. I'm just going to be over here making my stuff.
Yeah.
But we have to, if it means this movie making great amounts of money, mean we can stop having this conversation and we can just go in and be on the director's lists. I just want to make sure I'm on the list. I just want the interview.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
No, that's the point I'd like to get to. I'd like to get to the place where everyone is just like, oh, this is a good director.
Right.
And
It doesn't
they know,
matter.
Word.
That's
Right.
it. That's it. You're a good director.
You're
I
just
don't-
looking at reels.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Just show me your
and
reel.
if I'm bringing in a certain person from a certain background because they have some insight to the subject matter, let's have that. I'm not necessarily the best director for every female character. There are female characters out there that some might relate to more than others, but I just don't want to get the job cut. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a great. There's so many great examples to support what you're saying. Like, do we need someone of a certain gender, ethnicity to direct this specific story? Yeah, maybe that we do. But then, Ang Lee, you know what I mean? When he did Ice Storm, I thought there's no way a Chinese person, he grew up in China,
right?
Crouching Tiger,
Straight.
love it.
Yeah.
Right.
He's not going to get this.
Right.
I was like, wow, he told an amazing American story. So here's the thing.
So what happened with Hulk?
Yeah. Well,
Again, script.
horrible script. And
Script, because all the data was there. There was no excuse for Hulk.
right.
Again, there are all these comic books that had the story in it.
Yeah, there's plenty of source material.
When
So
they
that
bail on
was
the source
script.
material with comics, that's when they always go wrong.
Yeah.
That's when they always fuck up. When they add other dumb, well, this works in Hollywood. It's like, no.
Don't need it.
Don't need it. I
Didn't
got a good
need it.
story.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need. I don't need to like. How insulting would have Wonder Woman been if they added some like, Mom, I'm leaving the island because it's mine.
right.
Like, no. She knows she's the chosen one somewhere in her body.
That's
her
right.
mom knows it, but her mom is a scared parent.
Right.
How powerful of a queen she is, it was still human.
Right?
It wasn't weak female bullshit. It was
That's right.
human, like reality.
Parenting. I love you, and you're that great line. I can't wait to use it in my own family. That today is the day that you caused me my greatest sorrow. I mean, that was just like, so awesome and guilt ridden. It's fantastic.
They're sneaking away on the boat, and the mom and the horse and the Chris Pine. Chris Pine is
Do you
like,
see him go slink?
Yeah.
oh, shit.
I'm not getting in the middle of this.
I'm gonna just wait over here.
I'm gonna try to get the
Sorry,
boat going.
taking your hot daughter with me.
They could kill me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was such good powerful stuff, and I want to see good directors tell good stories. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I don't just and give everyone a shot.
That's right.
Give everyone a shot.
So what happens now? How is the sequel not already in production?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
No way
Well,
it can't be.
I read something that Patty Jenkins was quoted as saying she was considering doing a sequel. I didn't read the article, but that led me to believe, wait, there's not.
Well, I think what's going on is they've got all these other movies on deck that all the directors are leaving from. Because you've got Justice League, you've got The
is a little
Flash,
bit
you've
of a
got
jumpy
Aquaman.
Yeah.
And we don't know how good any of these movies are going to be. We're
That's
hoping,
right.
we were talking about this on the other episode, this might be, the exception rather than the norm. These other movies may still be a mess. So
right.
we don't know.
So they still need to fix them. And then it could be like where there's the group and then the individual, and then they kind of alternate them. 'Cause
Right.
Where are we going to see Wonder Woman? Okay, can we talk about
Well, here-
growing up as a DC comic girl? And I loved Marvel, but I was a DC girl. So how can DC create their own... I don't know if it's a tone question, but I want to know I'm in a DC film as opposed to a Marvel film. I don't know if you guys have had this kind of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just this glot of comic book based movies? But I think like Ninja Turtle had their thing, and I don't know that everything is feeling homogenous to me in some
No.
ways,
Well,
and it's a bit of a bummer.
DC
It's
been-
definitely not. It's been all over the map.
Here's
It's just
why Marvel.
just because there's so much crap. Period.
Well-
No, I think it's the wrong people steering the vision and the wrong
Copy
people
that.
in charge of the ship. Because what the vision was, and it was a lot of Zack Snyder and his wife's vision.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it was this dark, bleak
Mm-hmm.
universe that Superman who doesn't speak,
Mm-hmm.
then you have Batman who kills people, and you have all these changes to the universe, but they all share that common core of just being bleak and dark, which is
Yeah.
not interesting.
It's a mistake too,
Yeah,
because
and
it's not.
Christopher
it's,
Nolan
it's
made
not-
it interesting. Those were very
But
bleak,
Batman
dark.
is dark.
Yes,
But Batman
exactly.
was a really broken soul. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
Superman is not.
Right.
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 Superman is hope.
He wasn't-
Superman is a
that's
is
right.
he's a
You-
Superman.
You can't
Right.
make it all. You can't
His
make
world was
everything
different.
Batman.
Gotham was different,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't make everything Batman, and you can't make everything Batman and then make it incorrect as well. So that's
Yeah.
that was,
To go
That's a
to
good
go to your
point.
to go to your question. Look at what Marvel has done correctly.
Sure.
Marvel has an overall tone and universe, but they give each film,
That's right.
each world its own.
Its own thing.
its own feel.
And they allowed Deadpool to happen,
right.
which is even expanding their bubble.
over at Fox.
And look at
Yeah.
look at Guardians. We've talked about this a lot on the show, but Guardians, before the first one, was anyone clamoring for a Guardians of the Galaxy?
Would never have
movie?
even
No.
occurred to me when I first heard about it.
Right.
Like, I don't
was
even
like,
know
well,
who
I
these
hope that's going to
characters
be
are.
animated.
Yeah,
I really,
yeah.
when I first heard it got Graham, I was like, oh, they're doing an animated Guardians. That's such a great idea. Oh, wait, it's live action? Wait, why?
Huh?
Yeah.
Who? What?
What?
Where?
It was,
And
yeah,
what's
there's like
the-
a tree in
and-
that one.
And what's the
Yeah.
casting? What's
I know,
And
right?
they keep delivering. So I think DC, like they've just so much of what they were doing. And it was funny because we always used to talk the Marvel movies were awful and the DC ones were better.
Right.
And then Marvel.
There was a time where that
That
happened.
was true.
was
But
a-
I think it's because those were my heroes. I thought it was because I'm a little bit older and they were my heroes, so those were the stories I wanted to see. Now-
Don't forget, there's there's at least three horrible Spider-Man movies.
Of which do you speak? I have no idea what you're talking about. I have wiped those. You might have sat through those. I choose to erase my brain of those.
You're taking a Star Wars prequel. approach to
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, how and do you even like I can ask how many Punisher movies have there been?
Like 4, right?
that. Yeah.
It's
Like 3 or 4.
At
I
least
think
3. Yeah.
Lexi's was 3rd, and there's been another one since, and there's going to be an episodic now.
Yes.
Right?
Because there was a Dolph Lundgren one.
Yeah, but
remember
that's off. That was awesome.
It was. That's a guilty pleasure. That
Sorry,
first one.
dude, the 80s.
Yeah.
But so let's
Thomas Jane was one.
Thomas was
I saw the Thomas Jane.
I like Thomas Jane in The Punisher. I liked him as that character.
Just
I
the
didn't
movie
like
wasn't
the
good.
Movie,
No.
but I liked him as that character. I loved the ways Lexi's looked because Steve shot it.
Right.
I thought casting was off on that one. I think she takes a bad rap for
Is
a
it
lot of stuff that
3?
went down
I
in
think
that
it's.
movie.
I think it's 3. I think it's 3.
So maybe there's 3, and then the TV's the 4th rendition, perhaps.
Could be.
But they're doing so. Justice League is coming out this summer.
Yes.
Justice League Part 2 just got announced.
Oh, I thought they had canceled that. I thought they were only going to do Justice League.
Huh.
Like it
It
was
seems
originally going to be
like-
2 parts, and then it got compressed
Consolidated.
down to 1. But maybe they blew it back out again. I don't know.
Maybe
According to
because
Gail
Guardians did
Gadot's,
so good.
yeah, according to Gail Gadot's IMDb page, she is slated to be in Justice League and Justice League Part 2.
Okay.
So that could be very interesting in how the narrative then has to have a super arc, right? For these that whatever order.
Well,
these
then
are
you
gonna
also
come out
have
in.
like the Flash and Aquaman are going to be in there somewhere too.
That's true.
And what's interesting too is DC is actually doing much better on television. Like you have the Arrowverse, where you have Green Arrow, you have the Flash, you have Supergirl, and then you have a lot of the supporting superheroes are in there too, like Firestorm
I wonder if
and
that
Black
casting's
Canary.
gonna cross over to the features.
It is not. They made it very specific that none of them will be the same. They're two completely separate
so
universes.
They'll be completely different. That's keeping actors employed in Hollywood.
You're gonna have two Flashes. You're gonna if you're gonna have a Green Arrow, you're gonna have a movie Green Arrow and a.
They have to do that
TV
because
Green Arrow.
financially they would be so over a barrel if they had to keep all those actors happy for every. It's a pretty smart way to do it. Keep the TV costs low.
Well, I mean, what the way Marvel did it was so smart is that you have the Marvel TV shows. They're related to the movies, but they're
Different.
They're different.
Transmedia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's an article. I just want to say this real quick into the conversation. So Wonder Woman is the biggest opening ever for a female director, and has pulled in $223 million worldwide just off the first weekend.
That's fantastic.
So that's huge.
Because now we're getting past this bullshit of, it's good numbers for a woman.
Right.
It's good damn numbers.
Good numbers, man.
It's just a great summer opening, and let's get down with that.
I'd like to get to the point where
I mean, she's probably thanking her lucky stars, like, oh, thank God I turned down the Great Wall.
Now she can finance it herself. I wonder what that's like as we all love our genre stuff and we all are comic book fans, but there are filmmakers out there who aren't necessarily trying to get into this world. And I do wonder what it's like for those who come from super cinematic backgrounds that are trying to do really kind of, heavy cinema pieces, feeling like to be able to work, they have to get into some of this lane where there's more work.
Well, then they may not be the right directors for the job. I mean, one of the ways that these movies are successful is you have directors that are passionate about it. Those first two Spider-Man movies were successful because Sam Raimi was a great director.
He loved the universe. And he loved
Spider-Man, and he grew up and, he had a passion for it.
That's right.
The Green Lantern movie was directed by the guy that did Vertical Limit.
Right.
What does he care?
Right. Exactly.
Vertical Limit?
Yeah.
Is that the Charlie Sheen movie?
No.
Vertical Limit. Is that the Stallone mountain climbing one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's the one with the ice shear.
Yeah,
and that helicopter. It's really great cinematography. It's just not something to watch on the airplane.
Yeah.
But yeah. I just always wonder how these expansion of these kind of films at these numbers, what's the sustainability of that? What are we going to be making $300 million films?
Well, the thing
we're getting close to
here's
that.
Here's what's interesting,
holy
though.
crap.
Going back to Wonder Woman, so
Yeah.
The Avenger movies, and
Infinity War is probably going to be one of the most expensive movies ever
Ever.
made.
those movies already, those Captain America, those movies are in the $200 to $250 million.
Yeah.
So is this considered a low budget
Before
superhero
marketing.
movie? Because, remember, Deadpool was like, well, they only got $70 million for
Yeah,
Deadpool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's because Ryan was doing it himself, and he kickstarted that one. That was like the Kickstarter of the universe, right? His little, I really like this character. Will you let me do it? I'll bring my own money.
And $60 million is like low budget in that world. So
Big
140 is like,
But the story's still the story, and the character journey is still the character
Right.
journey. So,
And effects are cheaper now.
and effects are cheaper, but what we're getting is 45 minutes of stunts,
Right.
and warfare, and and
A video game.
at the same time, all of these visual effects, like when you go to Guardians, there's literally 7 or 8 minutes of the credits that are just every special effects company in for
on the
continents.
planet. Yeah. Mhm.
And half of those companies are going out of business.
Right.
So explain. I'm still not understanding.
Isn't that what happened with the
How
Life of Pi?
everybody
Was winning all
Life
these
of Pi-
awards, and then
those
they
guys
were
were
going,
literally
rhythm
going out of
and-
business.
Yeah,
They couldn't get paid.
right.
Exactly.
As the movie's winning awards.
Yeah, because they're
well, let me ask you this, going back to potential Wonder Woman sequels, in the very end where,
it's so set up.
right, where she's the beginning of the movie, she's working in the Louvre, it looks like, and
Yes.
That's her cover.
that's her cover.
She's an art historian or something, right?
and
Yeah.
She's a curator.
Museum curator
Yeah, exactly.
of exotics.
of exotics.
And she gets the
Collectibles.
briefcase from Wayne Enterprises, which has the photo.
Yeah.
So the end of the movie, then she goes back and she's like, dear Bruce, thanks for the photo. It brings back memories or whatever.
Yeah, it was even sweeter. Was thanks for bringing him back to me.
Yeah.
It was very like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what?
She's still a virgin as far as I could tell, so anything could happen in this next one. She got her first kiss, but
their kid will be like what, 1/4 god?
Wasn't that always a thing, like her and Superman or her and Batman?
I thought I heard Bruce Wayne were a thing.
And it depends, sometimes it's Superman.
Depends what issue, what year it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So where is the
comics?
What is the Wonder Woman sequel based on that?
I think it's going to be in modern times. I'm going to think they're going to do like a Captain America kind of thing. Like, all right, we did the World War I one. That's the intro.
Now
we're in modern times, and so, but as far as what the conflict will be, I don't know. I don't know what.
How
futuristic.
But I don't think it'll go back in time. I think it'll be modern.
I want to mention this real quick. The scene where they're in trench warfare and he's like, look, we got to go. And she's like, no, there's people. We got to do something now. And he's like, we can't. And she just goes, nope. Takes off the dress or the whatever gown or whatever she had on. Full Wonder Woman outfit, shield, runs across the battlefield and just like takes fire. And then all these guys go, oh shit. And they're following her.
It was awesome.
She's running at fucking bullets and rockets.
Yeah.
And all these guys are just like.
The Scottish guy, Ewan, who's a really great guy, particularly hilarious in that, 10 minutes before he's telling her to get her female hands off of him.
Yeah.
and now he's like, oh, I'll follow her.
Wherever you want. These guys are like locked. I love that
It's gorgeous.
There was the obvious when they meet her, like, oh, hello, cutie. Like, go play with your dolls. And then the minute they see her be a badass, they're like, okay, you're down with the fight. We're in.
I think one of the moments like that was great in the movie, when they were putting, quote, the team together. It was like, all right, well, at least that guy can fight. That's not the guy we're talking about.
Yeah. That's not Charlie.
Yeah, that's not Charlie.
I just, again, loved, it was such a great kind of like going to church on Sunday where you get that power pill emotionally. To watch that, to remember in your own day, to not settle. Why do I have to go sit over there? Why do I have to compartmentalize myself? Why am I second? Because that character, she was so believable in those moments of why are you talking to me like this? Why wouldn't we save this person right now, right here? And it was so political at the same time, which I love in my genre. That's the whole reason to me. And I'm sorry, but I'm sure they wrote this prior to Trump. But things are so relatable. There were so many things that are gonna connect.
I don't know.
Tissue.
I think with everything going on in the world, anything horrible in a film or TV show is relatable right now.
It's relatable right now.
I think that
it's frightening.
It's quite a broad swath.
Well, I mean, honestly,
so crazy. And yet, there's people on. Who was it that said this movie wasn't American enough or something? I don't know. There's some sort of
sure there's somebody said
commentary that she wasn't American.
Really? There was a tweet that said that? That's weird.
Somebody said something dumb on Twitter?
Yeah, somebody said something stupid on the internet.
I know. Yeah, all again with the accents.
Yeah.
I like the America is currently in war in 7 or 8 countries. So the American war machine is been going on for a while, for decades, and 2 decades. So this commentary was amazing to me because it was like, look at this, what she just so like, well, why would you do that? And if you are going to fight, you wouldn't get in there too, and you're just we should go help those people. It was so, because that's where our world is at. It's like we're the richest country in the history of the human race. And why are we, like, everyone, what happened in Manchester and London is awful. It's awful. But do you know how many civilians we've killed in drone strikes in the Middle East? Just in the month of March?
Well, war.
Obama did it.
I mean,
Bush did it.
war is awful, and that's one of the points that I think
Yeah.
this movie made, which is good. It doesn't matter. I mean,
Right.
there's no. And one of the points that Chris Pine was making is like, this is like nothing I've ever seen. It's people are just being killed all over the place,
Right.
And
yet his character still was well-meaning and well-intentioned, and there's this bigger picture. Let's go get the gas.
right.
However, for that character to still have the opportunity to be like, oh yeah, and we can do both.
Right.
We can deal with the macro and the
micro. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was. I mean, when his like, well, I forget how he said it, but he was like, I mean, I gotta go do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're probably all gonna die, but
And with the golden, when he took the lasso and wrapped it around himself to prove he was telling her the truth.
Right.
And then he was like, shit. I thought his performance was excellent. I don't need Chris Pine in every single movie in Hollywood, but
he did a good job.
It endeared him to me. I thought the sexual humor in the beginning, like, to me, I was like, oh my God. But he was so good at it that it would, like, I'm above average, and there's kind of beats.
Yeah, you bought him
was
because of
funny.
the tone of the film.
Yeah.
and again, going back to Kimberly, your commentary on Gal Gadot, her acting was so solid that she was believable when she was saying these things that were obviously meant to be funny or to be, ball busting or whatever. Like when he's making the bet on the boat, and she's just like, well, I meant,
Why wouldn't you sleep with me?
why wouldn't you sleep with me? But we don't really need you for anything. It's just
Yeah.
she just said it so like.
So plain.
Other than making babies, we don't need you for pleasure.
Right. Right.
But it wasn't like, we
was
don't need
so
you for
great.
pleasure. Like, man, girls better.
Right.
It was just so.
It wasn't hateful.
It wasn't. It was so naive.
It was scientific.
It was scientific and it was smart.
It was otherworldly.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so and believable.
And that made it fun and yet landed. Like she
Right.
had to have really, that was just well directed to make that tone work with that performance and a crappy
It was good chemistry.
actress.
Yeah, it was good chemistry between the characters.
And she had the physicality, which I totally believed.
and I think I agree with you about Chris Pine doesn't need everything, but whoever it was needed to be shorter than her.
yeah.
Right.
It had to be. The only one
Yes.
taller than her is Superman.
Well, that wouldn't have been that.
Yeah,
That wouldn't
and
have
like
been that hard.
Hamida Hemsworth wasn't gonna
Yeah.
work.
No.
She's an Amazon, and Amazons are taller than everybody.
Everybody.
And whatever.
Where are you going to find a short actor in Hollywood?
Like no matter which mythology you ascribe to, the Amazon women are like the Messiah of the universe.
And you're right.
Like,
It's like only Superman looks big.
He's the only
bigger
one
than
ever
her.
drawn bigger than her.
Yeah.
Is Superman.
is Superman. Batman was her same size, I think.
Kind of, yeah.
Even when you see them lined up, Superman's always
Right.
at the
Apex.
He is the A of the A of the A, and then her, and then Batman.
Right.
Which again goes to
Even
why,
on the clock, right there.
Which again goes to why.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I'm
Yep.
sorry this isn't a video episode where we could cut in this great vintage DC Comics clock.
Yep.
That
Very
needs batteries.
awesome. That needs batteries.
Well,
Any closing thoughts?
final thoughts.
I want to give respect at the premiere, a little tidbit. At the premiere of this movie, they invited Linda Carter. And Linda Carter was on the red carpet. And you can go online and see Guile go up to her and bow down to Linda Carter on the red carpet in her gown. And it was a fabulous, beautiful moment that
Oh,
got
that's
me
cool.
really excited about not just the movie, but knowing that the filmmakers were taking such care to bring Linda in and have her celebrate this moment and be celebrated in her legacy of this character. So it got me fired up, and that actress again points for knowing, respecting, and her contribution to the legacy.
Yeah. My thing is, all my questions about DC and Gal Gadot being cast are answered, and I'm ready to watch another 2-3 more movies of Gal Gadot just going out and kick. I'm in. Like the way I'm fired up for the Marvel universe, and also now, guess what, Marvel? It's been thrown down to you. When is your female superhero movie coming?
Miss Marvel.
All right.
So
Get it out there, because
It's
now
coming.
you are playing catch up.
Right.
Marvel is playing fucking catch up, and they need to get on it.
So it's definitely. I don't know if it's in production or not, but it's on their slate.
They're doing Black
and
Panther
on screen, and let's say behind the screen as well.
Yeah,
Let's say behind the camera as well. Marvel could step it up.
yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, I really enjoyed this film. I was so happy to see. I really wanted it to be good, and I was really glad it was. As far as what's next for DC, I can be cautiously optimistic, but I'm just going to enjoy Wonder Woman now.
I know. I don't know, but I'm not. I tell you what. Right now, I'm more fired up for whatever this Wonder Woman sequel is versus Justice League.
Right, I know. I'm more excited about that.
Completely.
Whatever
Yeah.
you got for the Wonder Woman sequel.
Completely. Because how many I Am Groots can one rely on to get
I could do
through
one
a
more.
narrative feature,
I
a
can do one
narrative
more.
feature film?
Yeah.
Just saying. I love you, Groot.
All right.
Excellent
Well, that's
movie.
our
Good to
show.
see you, boys.
Kimberly,
Yeah,
where
thanks,
can
Kimberly.
Can anyone find you on the internet?
Yeah, man. Hit me up at Hollywood Shorts and any platform that you choose. We are there. And look for us at the Palm Springs Film Festival. I'll be doing some panels and roundtables. And hit us up for any film festival consulting that you need for your movie.
Oh, there you go.
We can attest firsthand. She does a
Yes.
great job. I
Got us
didn't-
into some great festivals.
I didn't want to do the festival circuit. I thought it was
And I was
nonsense.
like, come on, Grant.
She had to sit me down and talk to me, and I was like, all right, fine. And one of the I had two amazing experiences, well, a bunch of really cool experiences. The premiere at SF Doc Fest and showing the movie in Napa. The Napa film.
That was
The Retreat.
amazing.
The retreat was amazing, and and you said, I remember you said to me, I was like, what the fuck am I going to Napa for? And you were like, Graham, this retreat thing, you need to be treated like a filmmaker. Because I think I have such a I've come from such an abusive relationship in comedy where
Right.
comedians are treated just like, shut up. We're just so relegated.
Here's $25. Sleep in the back of your car.
Yeah. And I know you can do something that 99% of the population can't, but I don't care. You get the kids' table. We think of you no more than a birthday clown. And directors, for better or for worse, are given more respect. They just are. Even if they make a shitty movie, you're given more respect.
Even to each other.
Even to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, you... And so to be in that world at Napa, that you were like, Graham, I think you need to have that experience. You didn't get that with Afghanistan. And you were like, I know you're bitter about the festivals because of how Afghanistan was treated. And I was part of it. I was like, you're right. Fuck them. Let's just do our own shit. Everything's do it yourself. But it was such a cool experience and was treated so well. And then like going to...
Comedy Kluge.
Romania, man, was so awesome. And like...
Aren't they the dopest?
It was such an awesome festival.
A lot of filmmakers are like, wait, what? You want me to go where? And I'm like, I'm telling you, get in this festival. It's going to rock your world.
Driving around in
You'll be treated like a king.
in a BMW and all these beautiful old theaters we screened
that have been
in.
around for so long.
Fucking hundreds of years. This cool town, like it was such.
If nothing fires you up to get busy on your next film and who you are as a filmmaker, this is our food. This is our little pellets.
Yep.
And you need that. And so if you can go on these experiences and not come out of there going, what the fuck am I making next? Then you don't need to be making movies. You know?
Get me out of here.
But in the meantime, we get so little of that because it takes so long to make a movie that you gotta have those experiences. That's what propels us through.
So I mean,
Thanks for trusting me, Grant.
no, I tried. Both you guys had talked to me, and I said to both of you, "All right, I don't think it's going to work, but I'll do it." And it worked, and
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you did. So if anyone out there's listening
Yay.
and you want a film festival consultant, I would hire Kimberley Browning in a
Thank
heartbeat.
you.
Yes.
Thank you. I love my boys.
And hopefully we'll be making more movies together.
We will.
Yes,
Now we have
we will be now.
distribution.
Yeah.
What?
So thank you guys so much for watching.
Hi,
For
guys.
listening, actually.
And thank you so much for supporting the Patreon. And we, like we said before, it's like, the $10 tier is great, but if you can only do 5 or 2, it all helps.
Anything helps.
It helps
and,
stabilize and grow the company.
And you're getting 2 spoiler ups a month now.
Yep, we're giving you more stuff.
Boom.
It's an equitable trade.
So thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting the show. Go to the patreon.com // comedy
Film
film
Nerds.
nerds. Graham Elwood's mine if you want to donate to mine. And support us on youtube.com / comedy film nerds. We're putting all new video up every week. You can see clips of what we do. You can see the ATC studios. You guys are awesome, and thank you for supporting what we're doing, and you're helping us grow, and we're going to be doing more cool stuff. Thank you, Kimberley Browning.
Oh, it's good. I'll see you guys at Podfest then, yeah?
Oh,
Yes.
snap.
See you in a
October
little
6th to
bit,
the
see you in a
8th.
little bit.
Yep.
And we'll be at Comic-Con. My name is Graham Elwood.
And I'm Chris Mancini, and as always, remember,
Han shot first.
Chris Pine.